r/AskReddit, what rumor in your school turned out to be true? A married teacher was cheating on his wife with a female student. Teacher left his wife and kids, lost his job, and the female student dropped out of school. Similar happened at my school. But it'll raise you that the high school girl, her mom was also a teacher at the same high school. And the male teacher never lost his job. Instead, he said he was counseling her, and that what they were meeting about was confidential. His wife and kids still left him though. That this girl everyone called the giraffe because of her really long neck was having an affair with a professor, small college. He was a fairly known poet, fairly known, for a poet, mind you. He was also married, and so was she, though she was maybe 22. They both disappeared for a while and then turned up married to each other in East Anglia. And there I was, in East Anglia, minding my own business, when NFN. Rumor was, one of our HS physical ed teachers was a roaring drunk. Totally true. About 10 years after I had last attended, he got busted sleeping in a storage room in the school. He'd go straight from last call at the bar, break into the school, and have a nap till awoken by the PA system doing morning announcements. Cops figured out just who it was breaking in all the time and basically stood back and let him get caught by custodial staff as he got increasingly bold. Female volleyball coach was having an affair with female superintendent whose husband also worked for the school district. Superintendent also did some shady money shit, can't remember exactly, but she was definitely using school funds for personal use. She ended up leaving before they could fire her and now works for a different district. She's still married to her husband. I asked my daughter what stories were going around and she told boring stuff like a fellow a couple of years ahead of her had gotten a young girl pregnant. Plot twist, the fellow was her older brother, and several months later we found out it was true. Guess I shouldn't have laughed it off and forgotten it. Wait, so, your son? She obviously wanted to tell you but not betray her brother. She must have been really anxious. There was in fact a secret pool table in the dark scary basement of my elementary school. In the science lab there was a little jar of white powder in the glass cupboard. Everyone was making jokes about it being cocaine. Later that year the maths teacher was fired on account of being under the influence while teaching and hiding drugs in the science lab. So, there it is, she rode the C train to and from work. My senior year of high school, 2016, we all thought that our female English teacher was having sex with one of our 17-year-old male classmates. It started out as a joke among the kids because we noticed they were a little too close. But right after we graduated in the spring, the news came out that our predictions were in fact true. She got arrested, etc. It was jarring, but at the same time satisfying because we were right. One of our teachers was rumored to drink on the job and spike his coffee. Once when he stepped out of the room, someone ran up and rooted around his desk. They found a hidden flask and held it up for all to see and then put it back. As far I know, no one ever ratted him for that. The fact that Noon ratted is the most unbelievable aspect to any of these stories. A teacher sleeping with a student. He was her phone wallpaper, LOL. He was arrested and his wife for some reason stood by him in court. During the handover thing of the new principal, word was going around that he's a bit of a creep. Rumor had it that he got transferred here from his previous school due to him being involved in some very weird shit in his previous school. Apparently he did turn out to be somewhat of a creep. Cause 10 different, female, teachers came forward /sexual harassment allegations against him. Carrot, for what it's worth, the cops didn't believe them, so nothing happened and the teachers just got fired. This is horrifying, as a female teacher. My old high school had an actual secret website of girls' nudes, and raunchy pictures on it. Made the news in Chicago spanning back to when I was in high school. 2007 to 2011. Was it secretly funded by R. Kelly? That sounds like the beginning of a Goosebumps book. Devin shot his dad and ended up in an institute. Go to mid Devin. There were scandalous rumors about a female student and male band director. They got married about a year after she graduated and the fake are still married 20 plus years later. This happened at my husband's high school too. As it was a smallish city and all the high school bands knew each other, this was big ass news way back when. Not bad like these other ones, but there was a rumor for years that these two history teachers were dating. Within the time I was at high school, they then got engaged, got married, and had 2 kids. Everyone loved them, so it was so cute. Everyone was really invested in their relationship in the best way. They're still together, as my friend sometimes sees them when she's at work and they come into her store. Pete really was pounding our English teacher in her Honda Civic. Pete Davidson will stop at nothing to sleep with everyone's wives. That I'm gay. Hey, the same rumor spread about me. I wonder if it was because I was dating the only male cheerleader or if it was because I was the only male flute player. Same. Had rumors about it since I moved to that school. Granted, I had a buzz cut and constantly ran into trouble for showing up in men's clothes. It wasn't hard to guess. Oh man, so there was this gossip going around about our quiet math prof being in a rock band. Everyone thought it was just a silly story, right? Turns out, he's actually the lead guitarist in this low-key indie group. Blew our minds when we spotted him at a local gig shredding it on stage. I had a female friend give me an old-fashioned one day after school. The next day she went in and told everyone I had a gigantic dong. By the end of the day the entire school had heard it. There are much worse rumors to have circulate about you. You stuck your cock in a whiskey and amp, bitters. So was she your wingwoman for the rest of school? Also, it's been a long time since I heard someone call it an old-fashioned. The school's priest would make jokes about how there's candy in my office, wink wink nudge nudge. Don't worry, I won't bite. Whole school would laugh at his joke. Well anyways, it turned out to be true and someone got diddled. Priest got arrested and killed himself awaiting trial. Shop teacher was a pothead. Rumor confirmed when his stash was found. Nobody narked, they all got A's. Back in the 80s, we had a science teacher who was clearly high most of the time. His classroom was in a kind of out-of-the-way area. He was able to park his car outside of the door near his classroom. He sometimes come in barefoot and sometimes brought his dog. Everyone knew about it, but it was never addressed. He was a brilliant guy and a great teacher, so I guess maybe they didn't want to lose him, haha. The chemistry teacher was sleeping with a student. She moved in with him after graduation. Creepy classmate was raping his younger sister. His parents called me, which was strange because I don't think I ever gave him my number. One time he snuck into my house when I walked home and hid. Thankfully my Doberman bit him in the ass. He thought it was funny and I was too young/scared to speak up. Jesus. That's terrifying. I'm sorry that happened to you. A teacher was sleeping with a 6th form student. A lot of people were already gossiping because she was fairly friendly with all the male students while being distant to all her female students. Turned she'd gotten pregnant to the 6th form student and was fired just before my year's GCSEs. She was our English teacher. So many people flopped the course because the teacher that replaced her was shit. Said teacher/assistant football coach was sleeping with the cheerleaders. 5 were pregnant on graduation day. He was recently jailed for CSAM. Finally a good story. 5. Yeesh. Biology/gym teacher was growing weed. He got fired for reasons, growing weed, the year after we graduated. There were rumors that a teacher was close to, kind of a mentor to me and a few others, was sleeping with a student. Nothing was ever proven, everything was denied and we all kind of moved on. 20 years later, the teacher has pleaded guilty to sexual assault charges against one of his students, making us all rethink what might have been happening back when we were in high school. 90% of these are gonna be stories about teachers banging students. Anyway, so at my high school there were rumors that one of the Spanish teachers was doing drugs. He was arrested early in my 10th grade for, you guessed it, drug possession. Later found out that he was in jail in the past for drunk driving and breaking and entering into his ex-wife's house. That the dean's son banged my girlfriend while I was on holiday. I really did have a permanent record. That a teacher was a major stoner, turned out he had a medical card and even hotboxed the teacher's lounge once. Hotboxing a lounge is a serious undertaking. At my school the male Russian teacher, married to a junior school teacher, was having an affair with, and then shacked up with, the male IT teacher. It was pretty awful and she passed away from illness just a couple of years afterwards. That the band director was a pedophile. It was a rumor that came out because some students didn't like him. Well, fast forward 7 years later he's arrested for child pornography. Now, the good news is none of it, that we know of, was of the students, nor did he do anything to any student he worked with. The bad news is, well, everything else. Holy shit, that's awesome. Did he see you guys? That our 24-year-old female French teacher was a stripper at an all-nude strip club. And, yes, there she is on the main stage. It's true. 11th grade high school. That shitty dick Claudia actually did shit on a guy's dick. And heroin Heather actually was a heroin addict. Their nicknames were prophetic. What are the odds? /S. Is it a math rock band? I thought this was a School of Rock joke here. PEMDAS band. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.